Hey guys, what is up? It is Mass here, and welcome back to a new video. And as you guys see by the title of this one, today we're going to be describing or kind of dissecting and breaking down, in my personal opinion, who has the best quirk in Class 1A of My Hero Academia. So if you don't know, Class 1A is Deku's class, Bakugo's in there, Todoroki, all them guys. And I have a list right here of, in order, who sits, from the first seat all the way back. And we're just going to get right on into it. I rank them personally how I think. And, yeah, let's start. So, coming in at, the first seat in the classroom is Ayama. And his quirk is he shoots a laser out of his belly button. But the only problem with that is if he uses it for an extended amount of time, he ends up getting sick from it. So, I think a fair ranking for him is number 12 out of 20 because there are 20 people in the class. So, he has a downfall to the laser. But next up, we have Mina, and her quirk is Acid. Now, I ranked Mina at number 17 because her problem is she can't really control it yet, and I don't really know how effective Acid would be. Like, if she uses that on a villain and it burns them and kills them, then what's the point of that? There's really nothing helping her out there. I think 17's pretty good ranking because she doesn't have control over it, and it's not that good if we're thinking about it. Like, yeah, she can melt through walls and stuff like that, but at the same time, like, it's not really doing her much help, honestly. Next, we have Sue. Her quirk is the frog, and I ranked her at number 11 because it's not bad. She can stick to walls and stuff like that. She's more of a defensive hero, I would say, because she can stay in one position and use her tongue to catch anyone who's flung, or even catch villains with her tongue and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. So the frog quirk, it isn't like absolutely great because you get all the characteristics of a frog, obviously, but it's not horrible either. It's definitely not one of the worst. And number 11 seems like a good spot for her. Next up, we have Ida, and his quirk is Engine, which makes him run very fast. That quirk runs in his family. He has an older brother with the same exact quirk. And I ranked him at number 8 just because of Ida is kind of shredded if you think about it. So, like, even if he's super speedy, which is very good because he can, go alert authorities or other heroes if there's a problem, or even outspeed a villain potentially, he's shredded too, so he has power behind him. So, Ida's kind of like a good package guy because he has power to him, and he can, run fast and stuff like that, and kind of catch a villain off guard, or even go grab help, which we've seen him do in the show itself. If you haven't watched the show or even read the manga, I haven't read the manga, so I don't really know what's going on in that. I know some stuff, some spoilers, but we're not going to get into that. But Ida at number 8 is pretty cool. Next up, we have Ochaku, and that's kind of like Deku's girl, I guess you could say. Her quirk's Zero Gravity, and I put this at 10. It's pretty useful, I would say, but at the same time, she doesn't have control of it that good either, and if she uses it for a long time, it also makes her throw up. But if she does harness this power, it can be a very good quirk. She can, levitate pretty much anything that she touches, but she has to, like, kind of control over it, I guess you could say. And then at a point, she can just drop everything as well. So, like I said, if she does get a hold on it, it's a pretty useful quirk, I would think. And she has potential to be a good hero. Next up, we have Ogero, and his quirk is Tail. I ranked this at 16 to Tail. I don't... It's just a tail. That's pretty much all I got to say. What advantage is it giving him that he could just wrap people up with a tail or smack people with a tail? That's it. Just a tail, man. Moving on to the next one, we have Kaminari, and his quirk is Electricity. I put him at 13 just because he's pretty stupid and doesn't really know how to use it yet. And if he does use it to its full extent, he goes brain dead for a little bit. So there's a lot holding him back with this quirk. But like I said, if he can get control over it and stops acting like a dummy, then the quirk won't be too bad in my personal opinion. Next up, we have Kirishima, and his quirk is Hardening. We know Red Riot, he wants to be like, oh, what's that guy's name? I forget. He wants to be just like a villain, and that's why he modeled himself after. But I put the Hardening quirk at number 5 because when he is at his full potential, nothing can break him. The only downside is he can't use it for that long. But these are heroes that don't have full control over their powers yet, so keep that in mind. So when he does harness his full power, he's pretty good. The whole time when he was fighting the overhaul guys, he was a little bit nervous, and then he kind of inspired Fat Gum and stuff like that. So he will be a good hero, I think. And 5 is a very good ranking for him. That is the highest that we have so far. And then after Kirishima, we have Koda, and his quirk is Anna Voice. And I'm just going to let you know now, that's the worst quirk that we have here. He can talk to animals and make them do whatever they want. I don't know how that's useful. That's just me. We're not going to sit on it. That's the worst quirk here. Next up, we have Sato, and his quirk is Sugar Rush. Second worst quirk here. I have it at number 19. He eats sugar, and he gets pretty shredded, but it's not very useful to him because once he crashes, he crashes. That's really all I have to say, man. It's not that good of a quirk. Next up, we have Shoji, and he has the multiple arms, and he can kind of make any part of his body go to a different part of his body. Like he can have 2 mouths or anything like that. I have this ranked at number 14. It's not horrible, but at the same time, it's like there's got to be a downfall to it. Like how many arms can he actually produce? I don't know. It's just not that cool to me personally, and that's why it's at number 14. Next up, we have Giro, and her quirk is the earphone jack. I have this at number 9 because it comes useful in stealth missions and stuff like that. She can hear anything with her earphone jack through a wall and stuff like that. In the movie Heroes Rising, she used it to communicate with All Might and hear what was going on, which was really cool. So I think there could be a little bit of a downside to it because like she doesn't have much power. Like she can poke somebody in the eye with it, and then like she can latch onto people with it and like make them hear loud noises. So I guess that's kind of cool. But for stealth and like helping other people out, I think this is a very good quirk. And then after her, we have Sero. His quirk is tape. He has tape dispenser on his like elbows, and he can shoot tape. I have it ranked at number 15. I don't think it's that good, honestly. It's just tape that you can tape people, and pretty much it. Next up, we have Tokuyami, and his quirk is Dark Shadow. And I have him. I was torn between him and Todoroki, man. I really was. I have Tokuyami at number 1 just because Dark Shadow is very useful. It's like a second person helping you out, so you get 2 in 1. The only downside is when it's nighttime, he doesn't have full control over it. Everyone on this list doesn't have full control over their powers yet, but if he can harness Dark Shadow and, have him not go crazy in the nighttime, I still think it's the best quirk here. That's just me personally. That's my personal opinion. Next up, Todoroki. He has Ice and Fire as his quirk. He comes in at number 2. Todoroki's probably my favorite character. His mother is half ice, I believe, or his full ice, and then his father is Endeavor, the number 1 hero. Spoiler alert, sorry. Is fire, and Todoroki has half ice, half fire, which is very cool. He doesn't really have full control over his fire side yet because he doesn't like using his fire side because he's got daddy issues. But that's kind of issue in its own. But yeah, number 2, Todoroki. Next up, we have, I don't even know how to say this, Hakka Cure. She has invisibility. I ranked her at number 7 just because invisibility is pretty cool for stealth and stuff like that. You can sneak up on people. The only downside to it is she wears clothes and people can see the clothes. So if she just didn't wear clothes and was invisible the whole time, then she'd be a little bit more useful, but not really, I guess. Next up, Backgo. His quirk is Explosion. I have him at number 4. He pretty much has sweat that is in his hands, and he makes fire out of it. It makes explosions, and he's Lord Explosion Murder. That's what he wanted to be named, but they wouldn't let him be named that. Sad life. And I like his costume design because he has like giant grenades on his wrists and can make bigger explosions with that. So I think that's pretty cool. Next up, we have Deku or Midoriya. His quirk's One for All. I have him ranked just above Bakugo at number 3. Once he gets full control over it, he'll be the next symbol of peace. That's really all I kind of have to say. He's going to be a beast, and he's kind of starting to show it. I know people like hating on Deku. I was hating on Deku at first, but he's starting to become a little bit of a beast, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for him. Next, we have Mineta. His quirk is balls. He has balls on his head that like stick to things. Not that cool. Number 18 for Mr. Mineta. that shit's just kind of boring, and he's a pervert. So, you know, go somewhere else with that. And finally, we have Yaya. Her quirk is creation. She can make anything out of her body, and I have her ranked at number 6. Downside is that eventually she does get tired and stops making things, or eventually starts slowing down and things start coming out slower. But she does have brains to her, and she knows how to use her quirk effectively. So I feel like 6 is definitely a good ranking for her. You know, pretty powerful class, I would say. There are some downside of quirks, like talking to animals, but, you know. If you guys did enjoy, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'm out here, guys. Thank you all for watching. Peace.